Right. Good morning again, or hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Christensen. I'm one of your Bryan LifePoint registered dietitians. Joining you again today to give you another recipe suggestion in case you are looking to make breakfast in bed or treat mom this Sunday for Mother's Day. So instead of my What's for Supper, this is the What's for Brunch Mother's Day edition. So hope you can maybe try it out and enjoy it. So this is something that I made I've now done for a couple cooking demo and some of our events here at Bryan LifePoint, and it's really gone over quite well. It's a good recipe in terms of lots of nutrition, fairly easy to make, although baking time, you do have to kind of factor in how long you're willing to spend on things. But if you have kiddos at home, this is something that they can get involved with, maybe whisking some of the eggs, helping to stir in the vegetables, or put them into the pan. So kind of a fun thing to have the kiddos help with if you have kiddos at home. But if not, if you're making this for your wife or significant other, just to celebrate her, or just for any occasion, really. This is an awesome recipe. So I can't take credit for it. This was originally sourced from a blog known as Little Spice Jar. So I did adapt the recipe a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that I tweaked and added in to give it a little bit more color and a little bit more of a nutritional factor. All right, so I know this looks like a lot of ingredients, but for the most part, a lot of these things, at least personally, I find that I probably have on hand already. So tablespoon of olive oil, simple, usually have that. Mushrooms, I usually keep mushrooms in my refrigerator. I always have the little jar of minced garlic available. I opted to use red onion. You could use really just a regular sweet yellow onion as well. Spinach is something that you will commonly find in my refrigerator as well. And then the bell peppers, if I don't have both varieties, I might just add in a little bit more of the red bell pepper. Generally, that is something that we have at least a little on hand. And then the cherry tomatoes, we always have tomatoes with two young kiddos that love them and eat them like they're candy. We generally have those available to us as well. Now, the one thing that I may not always have on hand would be the shredded potatoes. So if you do have a regular white potato on hand, you could shred that up yourself. My only suggestion with that would be to put it in a tea towel and wring it out, kind of like you would with shredded zucchini, drain off some of that excess moisture from that. Eggs. With this, I'll get into a little bit of some of the adaptations. I didn't include these, so the nutrition information that you'll see at the end of this is for the recipe as is, but I've also made this recipe doing half whole eggs and half egg whites. If you're looking to cut back on some of the calorie content, you could easily do that. The milk, again, you could choose a lower fat milk. I would probably go with like a 1% just to give a little bit of some of that creaminess rather than a completely skim milk. Hot sauce, I have a husband who loves everything spicy, so we usually have some variation of available at our house. And this is really something that you can adjust for taste preferences. So if you don't like things super spicy, really, I know the 1/4 of a cup sounds a little much, but it gives it a really great flavor, and it's not overwhelming in terms of spice or heat. And then a teaspoon of pepper and a cup of shredded cheese. Okay, in terms of directions, really, you can pop this together right before you want to prepare it. I'll also share, you can make this ahead of time, keep it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, and then when you're ready to cook it, you would just want to bring it to room temperature, so let it sit out on the counter for about 20 minutes to popping it in the oven. But in any case, when you are ready, you'll want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. In terms of prepping the vegetables up a little bit ahead of time, you're going to start by heating that olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat. You're going to first start out by sauteing the mushrooms about 4 minutes, and then add the onion and garlic and let that cook for an additional few minutes, 2 minutes to be exact. And then put that aside, remove that to a plate, then put in peppers, your baby spinach, and just really, a lot of times I'll let the peppers saute up a little bit longer before I add the baby spinach. That takes not very much at all. A lot of times I'll actually turn the heat off and just pop a lid on, and the spinach gets to a good consistency, good texture. So then you'll remove that once that's done. From there, you're just gonna prepare a 9x13 baking dish with nonstick cooking spray. You'll spread out those shredded potatoes in the bottom of the pan, and then pop in your vegetable mixtures from the previous couple steps. After that, you'll whisk together your egg, milk, hot sauce, and pepper, and then pour that over your veggies, and then sprinkle on the cheese and bake it for about 45 to 50 minutes. So hands-on time, it should only take about 20 minutes or so. Obviously, you have to account for the additional baking time. I do suggest, maybe not for a full 10 minutes, but I do suggest letting that casserole set for a bit after you take it out of the oven so that it scoops out a little bit easier without falling apart. As I previously mentioned, you could prepare this up ahead of time. So if you want to get the hands-on prep work done the day before, you can certainly do that. Just cover it and put it in the fridge. And like I said, just let it come to room temperature for about 20 minutes prior to putting it in the oven. While this is a meatless option, you certainly could adjust it. This is what I love about a lot of recipes. If you don't like peppers or you're not a big fan of onions, you can always pare back the amounts or swap different things in there. I've known some people like broccoli in this, so you might want to chop up a little bit of broccoli and add that in. You can really put in what works well for you and what you enjoy. So that would also include, if you want to up the protein content a little bit further, you could add in something like sausage, turkey, shredded chicken, or a little bit of ham as well. But please note that will obviously alter the nutrient analysis, as I will show here. Right, so for the nutrition info, this is based on 1/9 of the casserole, so about 245 in terms of calories, fat 15 grams, carbohydrates 16, fiber 2, sodium is at 375, and your protein content is 12 grams. This would be perfect paired with some fruit, maybe a slice of toast if you're needing a little extra. Maybe make it a whole grain toast for that extra fiber content. But again, this would be a lovely brunch or breakfast type option for Mother's Day, or really any day if you're wanting something just a little bit different than your traditional cereal or toast sort of thing. I do want to give a quick shout out to all the moms out there. We're wishing you a very happy Mother's Day this weekend. Big shout out to my own mom. And I hope that you are all able to enjoy the day in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully the weather cooperates with us and we can spend the day outside. So with that, my typical sign off is, as you've come to know, is to make sure that every time you eat, you're using it as an opportunity to really nourish your body and treat your body well. So with that, if you do have further questions, please feel free to reach out. Lauren.Christensen@bryanhealth.org is my email address. And until next time, I hope that you are all staying very well, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks so much.